This is the good part here.
Both like create. Now, I'm gonna break this down. This is part two of breaking it down. The last one that I did, I said I was talking about. It ended with me um, talking about Stacey Francis and how she and Ray J, I believe her and Ray J, both like created that big storm about Whitney acting a certain way.
Y'all remember her? That's the girl that was on Big Brother with Ray J, and Ray J told her it was his fault that Whitney Houston died and shit. And she was like, "Don't say that." He was like, "Nah, it was my fault. It was all my fault." Like, I'll play it after this. Watch this.
But I'm gonna start this off. This is part two. And I wrote down, I don't usually write down anything, but I wanted to because I wanted to give you guys this in like just in order how I have it. I want you guys to know that Bobby Christina was found first. Okay, I've always said that. She was found first because I believe the idea was to kill Bobby Christina first and then say, kill Whitney second and say that Whitney found her dead and all that stuff. But that didn't happen. Bobby Christina was strong enough to come through in that bathtub incident at the Beverly Hilton. Okay. And the reason why I say that
Y'all do remember that, right? How many of y'all remember that? Before Whitney died, that her daughter almost had an accident in the tub. She almost drowned. Y'all remember that's before Whitney passed Brandy them and them the note. How many of y'all remember that? If you was around, you was paying attention. The first time it was Bobby Christina that had almost drowned, or some shit happened with her before she died. You know what I'm saying? It was like a day or two before the shit happened to Whitney. I'm gonna look it up. Watch.
Ray J had him first. Okay, I've always said that. She was found first because I believe the idea was to kill Bobby Christina first and then say, kill Whitney second and say that Whitney found her dead and all that stuff. But that didn't happen. Bobby Christina was strong enough to come through in that bathtub incident at the Beverly Hilton. Okay. And the reason why I say that Ray J him or Nick or both of them, because they were around Bobby Christina at this time. I believe that Ray J um, gave my niece something. I believe that him and Nick and they were all conspiring, doing things in that hotel during that time that Whitney and Chrissy was in that hotel, you guys. They were doing things to my sister and my niece. And my niece said, when she was talking to my son Kelsey, he asked her, Chrissy, did you have anything to drink? Did you have any drugs? Did you have anything? She said, no. She said, it was early in the afternoon. The only thing she had was something to eat. And she said she believed she had breakfast and lunch. So that let me know. I said, aha, somebody probably spiked her drink or food because Bobby Christina said the last thing she remembered was going to her door. That was the last thing she remembered, going to her hotel door to lock the deadbolt. And then she said she woke up in the tub. She didn't know what happened to her, right? So, and then she said when she woke up, there was a lot of men around her, and none of them were trying to help her get out of this bathtub. Huh? All hotel security around her. Yeah, it was all hotel security around her. Okay? So now, like I said, I believe someone spiked her food. Nick Gordon and Ray J, because I'm sure that Pat and Gary had recruited. I know the only thing she had was something to eat. And she said she believed she had breakfast and lunch. So that let me know. I said, aha, somebody probably spiked her drink because or food because Bobby Christina said the last thing she remembered was going to her door. That was the last thing she remembered, going to her hotel door to lock the deadbolt. And then she said she woke up in the tub. She didn't know what happened to her, right? So, and then she said when she woke up, there was a lot of men around her, and none of them were trying to help her get out of this bathtub. Huh? All hotel security around her. Yeah, it was all hotel security around her. Okay? So now, like I said, I believe someone spiked her food. Nick Gordon, and Ray J, because I'm sure that Pat and Gary had recruited. I know they recruited Nick, and they bought Ray J in as well. So they were all one, team. They were all hanging together. But God gave me a dream. He gave me a vision regarding my niece because I was confused. I was like, in the beginning of me investigating this case, I was like, okay, Chrissy, she couldn't remember anything after locking that deadbolt. And I was like, dear God, please give it to me. What happened to my niece? And then Allah gave me a vision and it told me what happened. It told me. I'll tell you guys about that vision later. Okay. And I might do it tonight, but it's late. I'm home. I'm getting ready to go to bed. But I think that I know that I have it, but God gave me the vision of my niece because He wanted me to know what actually happened to Chrissy and why. Um, she couldn't remember, after going to lock the door of the depot, and she couldn't remember how she made it to the tub. So when Allah gave me the dream, He told me, He said, she went to that door to lock that deadbolt, but then she went to lay down and go to sleep. And when she laid on her pillow, that's when they snatched her because they thought she was dead, I guess, and they took her to that tub and they undressed her because when Chrissy woke up, she said she had no clothes. Mm-mm. Somebody had removed her clothes out of the hotel, all her suitcases and everything. So Pat and them have access to that. So there's no way that you can get out of that, Pat and Gary, because you all are the only ones that have access to Chrissy's clothes.
Now, how many of y'all remember that I said in Whitney Houston's uh in the police report for Whitney Houston, they said all Whitney's shit was gone. She had no clothes. She was in there naked, and she didn't have no clothes. Y'all remember that? I got it right here. I'll pull it. I'll pull it. Where is it?
I'm sure if Whitney brought you with her, she only gave you all permission to touch her daughter's clothes. Okay, so how come when Chrissy woke up from that bathtub incident and she walked around that room looking for her clothes and couldn't find them? You all had taken her clothes out of that hotel, even her suitcases. She said she was butt naked and she got up out of the tub to walk to look for her clothes and couldn't find one stitch of clothing. So y'all had moved that fast. After she fell asleep, see, you all started snatching her stuff out the room. That sounds like you, Pat and Gary, because you all did that with Whitney. So when Chrissy came to in that bathtub, she couldn't find nothing. And by the way, her rugs was soaking wet.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need with full business functionality. And it is
Didn't they say Whitney, when they found Whitney's body, Whitney's room was soaking wet? That's how I know she wasn't in her room. Chrissy said her room was soaking wet. But I'm going to go on. First of all, okay, let's get this straight. Because I'm only trying to bring this truth. I'm trying to bring the truth to the public so that we not be fooled. Because you all are not going to lie and say my sister passed away like that. And she didn't. Somebody jumped my sister. Somebody beat Whitney. Somebody was beating her. She was fighting back because she had defense wounds as well. Nails chipped, busted lip. And by the way, again, they said Whitney's lip was busted so bad that had she lived, she would have had to have surgery, like serious surgery to fix her lip. That's how bad it was, you guys. Yes. Okay. First of all, Whitney's security, Ray.
They call it a laceration. That cut was so deep on her lip, they called it a laceration.
My son is saying that cut was so deep on her lip, they called it a laceration.
And there was no blood.
And there was no blood. It was deep. The thing on her lip. So what did you all hit my sister with? This is crazy. Her jaw was out, like somebody had punched her. But Whitney's security, Ray, told me. He said, Lily, that room, he said, whoever came, quote, whoever came in that room to kill Nip. That's what he said to me when I asked him what happened. And that was for the first time. See, I hadn't seen Ray and I had been wanting to talk to him. So I saw him at the hospital when we were there for Chrissy, because Ray wouldn't answer my calls. And I kept calling him because I was used to talking to Ray. But anyway, when I finally met up with him, um, he said, Lily, whoever came in that room to kill Nippy, they left that room, that they had that room looking as if a tornado hit it. So I'm like, wow. So that there was no forced entry though. See? So whoever killed Whitney, she knew them. Whitney wasn't gonna let anybody in her hotel room anyway. There was no forced entry. So of course, it had to be somebody that Whitney knew. No forced entry. And her room looked like a tornado hit it. She had all them bruises on her. It was somebody that she knew that was fighting her. Yes. Okay, so I want y'all to know this. Okay, so the next question is, who would want to do this? Well, who would she trust to come in her room? First of all we have to do is go back to who were the people there. Okay, I can tell you this. I know there wasn't a lot of people around Whitney because Whitney Houston wasn't that kind of person. She was very private. She only had a few people around her. Of course, Pat Houston was around her brother Gary, Ray J, Brandy Burnside, Nick Gordon, her security Ray. And Ray, I don't know why you didn't stand up in the beginning and tell people what happened to Whitney. You are her security, darling. You are, and you all know that I love and respected all of you all before this. My brother Gary knows how much I love and respect him. But the truth is the truth, Gary. And I don't hate you, brother. I don't. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Pat. I don't hate Gary. I don't hate Ray J. I don't hate you, Ray. I don't hate anybody. But I want the truth. I am about the truth. None of you all are my God. Okay? And I hope that I'm not yours. None of us are supposed to put each other before God. But we are. When we believe in God, we are to tell the truth. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not to mock you, not to make, not none of that. None of that. You all know me. None of that. But I am speaking the truth. Why did you not come forward and say what happened to my sister? Why? How could you all do this and let this go down and not say anything to us? That's not right. No, it is not. But Pat, you were there around her. Gary, Ray J, Nick Gordon, Brandy Burnside, Mary, Pat's relative, Ray, which is Pat's brother, Whitney's security, and Raffles. I haven't forgotten you. I seen you coming out the back. Okay? So what were you doing there, Raffles, too? All of you all were around my sister. It was evident that something was going on because somebody made the phone call and said something fishy's going on up at that hotel with Whitney. They called Aaliyah, Whitney's niece, and told her, get your aunt out of that hotel. Yes. Okay? Yes, and Whitney fought for her life. Yes, she did. She fought for her life. Now,
The motherfucking drugs is why a lot of people ain't talking. Those that know something that probably was not involved back then, it was the drugs that made everybody scared to speak up. Or there's more people involved than just 2 or 3 people.
after Whitney is found, Pat and Gary, you two are seen.
I love you. I've always been with you from before you were born.
Seen. This is not hearsay. Staging the scene. Running back and forth very fast, taking things out of Whitney, out of that room to another, going back and forth. Okay? Why was you all doing that if you're innocent? If you didn't do anything wrong, why? Why would you touch a scene that the authorities have to come in? They have to fingerprint, they have to, and I don't even know if they did. They probably didn't. But I'm just saying, why would you all do that if you're innocent? If you're so innocent, Pat? And you would say, after 10 years, you and Gary would get in the camera and say, bring the evidence? If I have evidence of you all, is that all you have to say to me? And go to the authorities? Okay. Well, Pat, explain this. You got on Oprah. You jumped on Oprah after Whitney's death. Okay? We were all watching. I was anxious to hear what you was gonna have to say. But you lied, Pat. You told Oprah you was her manager. Why? That was the first red flag for me, Pat. When you said that and I knew you were lying, I said, what the hell is going on here? Why is Pat lying to Oprah? Okay? And then you said, Pat, that you had watched your brother give Whitney CPR. And so long, so much that you said, stop. She's already gone. And Nick was on Dr. Phil saying the same thing. He gave, uh, but only different, that he gave himself. He gave Whitney CPR. He didn't mention you or your brother. You didn't mention Nick around or anything. But Nick said he was giving Whitney CPR and he had to call his mother in Florida because he didn't really know what he was doing. That's what he said. Go back and look at the Dr. Phil thing. So that's two stories, Pat. That's two different stories. Something's wrong with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one saying that. Okay? So there's two stories about you all giving Whitney CPR. Who's telling the truth? Or are both of you all lying? I don't know. Okay, now.
Now we saw, I think it was yesterday, right? When I show when I showed Pat on Oprah, and she said she walked in and her brother and was giving him CPR, and she told him, yo, stop. She's gone. She's gone. Remember? Y'all remember that? She said that, yo. She said she told her brother to stop. He was gone. I'll play it again, right? Now, I ain't saying Leola is a liar, right? When she say that that's a contradiction in the story, I'm just going to do the research, right? Because some of y'all might doubt what she's saying. So we do the research. Let's see what she say.
You to go straight to rehab.
I'm done with the interview. I'm done.
Nick Gordon stormed out of his interview with Dr. Phil and checked into rehab.
I hate Bobby Brown.
You've been drinking a lot though, right?
Get to the point. I'm getting frustrated.
We've learned Dr. Phil believed Nick had been drinking before the sit-down. And at one point, Gordon had an altercation with one of his field producers.
Your son, left to his own devices, will be dead inside a week.
And Nick's mom, Michelle, is making a startling claim about the death of Whitney Houston. She claims that her son, Nick, was there when the superstar died, adding that he tried to save her life by administering CPR. We asked the coroner's office about that claim, and it told us today it was not aware of anyone performing CPR in Houston. A family source also tells us Nick Gordon was not in the room. Last year, Nick and Bobby Christina had talked about marriage, but in the weeks before she was found unconscious, family sources tell us there were infidelities and their relationship had crumbled. Meanwhile, one of Bobby Christina's aunts is blasting Nick for going on TV. On Facebook, Leola Brown posted, Nick Gordon is under investigation for the attempted murder of my niece, Bobby Christina Brown. Police tell us there is an investigation underway, but won't say if Nick is a suspect. The aunt added, if Nick Gordon does not have the courage to speak with my brother Bobby Brown and/or law enforcement about what happened the day my niece's body was found in a bathtub, he does not deserve to have a platform to speak to anyone of your caliber until this investigation is concluded.
Can't go? Do this to clear out stuck poop fast. On June 17th in 2019,
We start with life by administering CPR. Died, adding that he tried to save her life by administering CPR. We asked the coroner's office about that claim. There when the superstar died, adding that Nick's mom, Michelle, is making a startling claim about the death of Whitney Houston. She claims that her son, Nick, was there when the superstar died, adding that he tried to save her life by administering CPR. We asked the coroner's office about that claim, and it told us today it was not aware of anyone performing CPR in Houston. A family.
Y'all tell me Whitney Houston wasn't murdered now?
anxious to hear what you was gonna have to say. But you lied, Pat. You told Oprah you was her manager. Why? That was the first red flag for me, Pat. When you said that and I knew you were lying, I said, what the hell is going on here? Why is Pat lying to Oprah? Okay? And then you said, Pat, that you had watched your brother give Whitney CPR. And so long, so much that you said, stop. She's already gone. And Nick was on Dr. Phil saying the same thing. He gave, but only different, that he gave himself, he gave Whitney CPR.
Before she left.
Mary is her assistant.
She checked on her before she left. We were gone no more than 30, 35 minutes. When we returned, the makeup artist was waiting in the lobby along with my executive assistant. And I told her to just wait there. Mary was going to check to make sure she was ready. She was actually shooting an infomercial for the Marion P. Candle line that day. And I went to check on the room, which was on the same floor.
So is that what she was getting made up for?
She was getting made up for the event, but she had several things that was going on that day.
Got it.
When I left that room and headed down the hallway, I heard screaming.
So walk me through it. You're going to go to your room?
No, I wasn't going to my room
You were
because
going to go to her room.
I was going to her room. She had been asking for me all morning.
Through texting or?
Through Mary, and she'd called my phone twice. So I was headed to her room to see if she was okay, you know, because she hadn't seen my face. Usually I go up and I see her. And that was one day that I didn't. And after leaving the room where everything was set up for the infomercial, I headed down the hallway.
To her room?
To her room. And I heard screams. And I saw the hairstylist drop to her knees. And I kept walking very slow. A woman opened her door and said, "Is everything all right?" I said, "Dial 911." And I just kept walking. I didn't run.
And you didn't even know what you were dialing 911 for?
I had no idea.
But you could see the makeup artist in the hallway drop to her knees.
Dropped to her knees saying, "Oh my God."
And you knew something happened.
I knew something was wrong.
Really? Call 911. Okay, for what? What do you want me to tell them? Well, I don't know yet. I didn't get down the hall to find out exactly what happened. So you might want to wait. I don't know why I'm telling you to call 911, because I don't know what happened. Right? Call 911. Girl, get the fuck out of here. Yo, she said call 911, right? Check this out.
I didn't know what.
And so you didn't run, you just...
No, I was just numb. I just walked. I walked. I told her to dial 911. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm sorry you lying. Look at it over. I don't believe you.
As I got closer and I turned the corner, Mary's at the door and she's screaming. Oh my God. I told her to stop. I said, calm down, please, just calm down. Calm down, without even seeing anything. When I got into the room, I saw my brother trying security Ray, my brother trying to revive her to the point of exhaustion. And I called his name. I said, Ray. Paramedics was coming in at that point. I said, Ray, let it go. They asked him to move. He was on his knees. He said, I tried. He was so out of breath. I felt so badly for him. So badly for him. I'm sorry.
Now, who was doing the CPR, y'all? Nick Gordon or her brother?
He didn't mention you or your brother on here. Why is Pat lying to Oprah? Okay? And then you said, Pat, that you had watched your brother give Whitney CPR. And so long, so much that you said, stop. She's already gone. And Nick was on Dr. Phil saying the same thing. He gave, but only different, that he gave himself. He gave Whitney CPR. He didn't mention you or your brother. You didn't mention Nick around or anything. But Nick said he was giving Whitney CPR and he had to call his mother in Florida because he didn't really know what he was doing. That's what he said. Go back and look at the Dr. Phil thing.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got Shake video masks.
So that's two stories, Pat. That's two different stories. Something's wrong with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one saying that. Okay? So there's two stories about you all giving Whitney CPR. Who's telling the truth? Or are both of you all lying? I don't know. Okay, now. All right. We all know that there's a lot of people that are not here today. It's mighty strange that a lot of people are gone. Nick is gone. He's no longer with us. But before he left here, my nephew Gerard Brown had him on tape, and he said, I'm not going down for Pat. He said, I saved her with Whitney. I'm not taking the fall for Chrissy. I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this. After he knows that he was the one that beat Chrissy in that living room. But the way he said it was like, he felt like, oh, wow, I might get in trouble for this. I was told to beat her down like that and throw her in the tub. But now Chrissy is not going to make it. I ain't going down. I'm not taking this fall for Pat. I'm not doing this. That's what he said. Okay? And so it's mighty strange that Nick is gone now. All of a sudden, he's no longer here. Okay? I'm just saying, you all. Because I want the world. Since Pat and Gary, I don't have no evidence against you, and you say go to the authorities, I ain't going to the authorities. No, I'm not. I'm done with the authorities. I ain't going to them no more. But you know what I'm going to do? I am going to tell the truth to this world and let the world be the judge. Okay? Now Nick comes up dead. A lot of people came up dead. Chrissy's friends. A lot of Chrissy's friends. And then on top of that, I heard that my friend Lim, Joseph Lemon, I heard this may not be true though. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know. But he's dead now. Lim was young. He was younger than me. I didn't know that he had any issues. He's gone now. All of a sudden, Lim, I couldn't believe it. And I heard that he was also there. He was part of the security. Because, see, I knew Whitney had 2 security people with her. And when I was asking around and doing my investigations, I heard Lim was with them. My old buddy Lim. And see, I introduced him to family members. But see, that's what people, a lot of people come in the Brown family and they go and they befriend people. A lot.
Shout out to my girl Latasha. Remember, I was trying to say I couldn't find. I think it was in my Instagram. This is what Latasha went to the Beverly Hilton hotel, and filmed this so we could get a idea of what it looks like going to Whitney's room. Right? Check this out. Check this out. Thank you, Latasha, too, for sending me this. Y'all see the camera? Y'all see the camera? Right? Now, Whitney got a corner room, y'all. You got to go up and make this left. Remember what she said? She was walking down the hall. Remember what Pat said? And she seen the girl right here on the floor, on her knees, facing Whitney's door where you make that left. And somebody in this hallway, while she was walking down here, now look, Whitney's in 434. You see 424 to 445, right? I think her room was 434, if I'm not mistaken, right? Now remember, this girl says she left Neiman Marcus and got from Neiman Marcus to this room in 10 minutes. Look how long it takes this girl to walk down this damn hallway and get to the elevator. I mean, from the elevator alone. Look how long that hallway is. And you tell me in 10 minutes she went from Neiman Marcus back to Whitney's room? In 10 minutes? Shit like take 10 minutes to walk down this long ass hallway.
Now stop right here. I'm freezing the video to show you. It's a big old camera right there in the corner. Now this is before you go and you see the rest of the location as to where she was located. this is the evacuation room. Oh, yeah. Now it makes sense. This was murder.
Can you tell us what?
In the corner.
Now y'all see how easy it was for these niggas to come dipping out the back? Remember we seen them coming out the back? They didn't have to go to the front to the hotel, to the elevator and leave. Them niggas killed Whitney and went right down the fucking steps, bro. Look at the exit right here. They got the camera right here. If they wanted to find out who killed her, all they had, the camera's right in front of her fucking door, bro. The camera's right there in front of her door, bro. Right there. Right there. They done pulled a P. Diddy and bought the tape. And now look, ain't no other rooms next to her room. Right? And the exit is right there. They dipped right out the back. And I'm going to show you where they came out through the back at.
Now, this is before you go and you see the rest of the location as to where she was located. Right there. And this is the exit. And this is the evacuation of the location as to where she was located.
Look at that. Look at that. Right out the room, dip down the exit. And she was bitching about the room Clive they gave her because he gave her that little ass room. Why? Allegedly, we know why, because it's right next to the exit to get out. Boom, right there.
Boom, right there. And this is the exit. And this is the evacuation room. Oh, yeah. Now it makes sense. This was murder.
Can you tell us what happened?
It was a usual day. You know, it was the Clive's Grammy party that Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Just her having lunch.
She had lunch at the hotel?
She had lunch at the hotel upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Were you in the same hotel?
In the same hotel, you know. Just
down the hall?
On the lower level, next floor. We're usually on the same floor, but, you know, this time we were on a different floor. But I was working in my room and decided I needed to go pick up something pertaining to the party. And
The
Mary,
party that night,
the party that night, the Clive party. Mary checked on her before she left.
Mary is her assistant.
She checked on her before she left. We were gone no more than 35 minutes. When we returned, the makeup artist was waiting in the lobby along with my executive assistant. And I told her to just wait there. Mary was going to check to make sure she was ready. She was actually shooting an infomercial for the Marion P. Candle line that day. And I went to check on the room, which was on the same floor.
So is that what she was getting made up for?
She was getting made up for the event, but she had several things that was going on that day.
Got it.
When I left that room and headed down the hallway, I heard screaming.
So walk me through it. You're going to go to your room?
No, I wasn't going to my room
You were
because
going to go to her room.
I was going to her room. She had been asking for me all morning.
Through texting or?
Through Mary, and she'd called my phone twice. So I was headed to her room to see if she was okay, you know, because she hadn't seen my face. Usually I go up and I see her. And that was one day that I didn't. And after leaving the room where everything was set up for the infomercial, I headed down the hallway.
To her room?
To her room. And I heard screams. And I saw the hairstylist drop to her knees. And I kept walking very slow. A woman opened her door and said, "Is everything all right?" I said, "Dial 911." And I just kept walking. I didn't run.
And you didn't even know what you were dialing 911 for?
I had no idea.
But you could see the makeup artist in the hallway drop to her knees.
Dropped to her knees saying, "Oh my God."
And you knew something had
I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what.
And so you didn't run, you just...
No, I was just numb. I just walked.
Which means, y'all, that the makeup artist dropped to her knees, even though she told her to stay downstairs. But for some reason, she got up there. She got up there. She's at the door. Got upstairs before her, and she went upstairs. But so you telling us, you see how the hallway go, and then you got to make the left to go to Whitney's room. So that means she saw the woman. She had to be standing right under the camera on her knees, looking way over into Whitney's room on her knees, way back there, like, oh, crying, right?
I walked. I told her to dial 911. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am too.
911 emergency. Hi, how you doing? This is security from Beverly Hilton. Hi, what's going on there? I need paramedics. Apparently, I got a 46-year-old female found in the bathrooms. That's all I've got right now, but they're requesting paramedics. Oh, okay. Female found in the bathroom. What room is she in? I'm not sure if she fell or she was in the bathroom with the water. 464? 434, I'm sorry. That's room 434? Yes. Okay, and there's not east, west, or anything else? There's room 434? Yeah. Okay, and you don't know if she is conscious of breathing at all? Apparently she wasn't breathing, and she's 46-year-old. She was not breathing? Yes. Okay, but she is breathing now? I don't know. Okay. The person that called me was irate and couldn't get much out of her. Okay, you have got security going there now. Okay, we'll send police and fire over there with that person not breathing. Did it sound like the person was still not breathing? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, we'll get them there for not breathing. Is there any way you can get me to the room so I can try to do CPR? Yeah, we're going there now. Can you get me into the room so I can try to get CPR instructions? Oh, I'm sorry. No, because she kept hanging up on us. Kept hanging up on you? Yeah. Okay, all right. We're getting our units over there, okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you, bye.
As I got closer, and I turned the corner, and Mary's at the door, and she's screaming. Oh my God. I told her to stop. I said, "Calm down, please. Just calm down. Calm down," without even seeing anything. When I got into the room, I saw my brother Security Ray, my brother trying to revive her to the point of exhaustion. And I called his name. I said, "Ray." Paramedics was coming in at that point. I said, "Ray, let it go." They asked him to move. He was on his knees. He said, "I tried." He was so out of breath. I felt so badly for him. So badly for him. I'm sorry.
So there you have it. Room 434 has a construction access only, but if you look underneath the door, you can see the carpet. So you know that's not a fire exit or anything. They just don't want anybody going in there. And then when you look at the exit door, you can see there's nothing under there because most exit doors, as soon as you walk out, you're walking out onto concrete. But you can see where the exit is. She's strategically placed next to the exit. So whatever you got to do, you do it and walk right out the exit, and you won't be seeing nothing else. This camera that's in this corner, which they have high profile things there all the time. So I'm sure it was there back in 2012. A camera of some sort was there. You mean to tell me no one requested surveillance to see who was the last person going in this room? You mean to tell me she's not next to her bodyguard? His room is not adjacent to hers? You mean to tell me that nobody answers the phone on that day? It just made it all too real. With my visit to the Beverly Hilton. Very eerie, very mausoleum-like. When you walk down the hall, it's crazy. But yeah, that's my Whitney Houston Death Path tour. But I mean, you guys are smart guys. You can piece it together by just looking at what's there.
So Pat's walking down this hallway. She hears a scream. Somebody walks out, and she says to them, out of any one of these rooms, call 911. And then she sees the makeup artist on the floor right here. And then she turns the corner, and she sees the marriage. Right?
People come around us and they try to get around us to get to Whitney or, but people, you all should never do that because you don't know what you're getting into. Be loyal to people. Be loyal because you never know. Anything could happen. But I just want to know what's happening to all these people that are dying. Max Lomez. And then they tell me, I hear that Joshua, Chrissy's friend, told me that he was present when Bobby Christina, after Whitney's death and Chrissy's here in Atlanta, he said he was present when Nick, Max Lomez, Danielle, and them planted the knife in the car that Chrissy was driving when she had the accident. And they said those orders came from Pat. That's what Joshua told me out of his mouth to my ear. He said, Auntie Lily or Leola, whatever I forget how he called me. But he said, because most of Chrissy's friends called me Auntie Lily. But anyway, that's not important. Joshua said to me, he said, Auntie Lily, that knife was planted. I was around them during that time. And Pat was giving orders to Nick and them to plant that knife in Chrissy's tire to make her have an accident. I said, what? He said, yes. And they did it because they pretended like Danielle was going to commit suicide. And I said, what? Danielle was going to commit suicide? He said, yes. Danielle was going to commit suicide. So they were trying to tell Chrissy, Danielle's going to commit suicide. Get in the car and drive her. They were trying to tell Chrissy to drive to make Danielle feel better. Now, I never asked Joshua why Danielle was going to go commit suicide. But I put 2 and 2 together now. I'm Detective Brown. I started thinking, I said, wait a minute. Chrissy wasn't friends with Danielle no more because she busted Danielle with Nick. Danielle was not supposed to be coming around her no more. See, and Danielle was present when Nick beat Chrissy in her house. So why was Danielle saying she was going to commit suicide? Was Chrissy not speaking to her? Or did they tell Danielle to come back around and try to befriend Chrissy and act like you're her friend again? And Chrissy was saying, no, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Targaryens are gone. Burn them all! Not all of them.
And so they're all outside of Chrissy's place now. Danielle's pretending like she's crying. I'm just gonna go kill myself. I'm gonna go kill. And they're saying, Chrissy, look at what she's gonna do, Chrissy. She done slept with Chrissy's boyfriend now. So Chrissy, having a good heart, says, okay, I'll get in the car and drive. I'll drive her and talk to her. Okay, I'll be her friend again or whatever. That was it. See, God was revealing these things to me because I knew what was going on in Chrissy's life. Danielle wasn't even supposed to come around her no more. It had to be that because Chrissy wasn't willing to be her friend anymore. So she pretended like she was going to commit suicide. Right?
And they lied to Chrissy to set it up so that they could.
Right, and they lied to Chrissy to set that up. Of course, she wasn't going to commit suicide. They were just saying that to Chrissy to get Chrissy in that vehicle so they could have her drive it because they had already had the knife stuck in the car. So Chrissy gets in and she has that accident. And Joshua says to me, he said, Auntie Lily, you know, everybody knows better. They know Bobby Christina could drive good. She could drive. She's a real good driver. She didn't even know what was going on after she had the accident. Joshua said, I was there. They stuck the knife in her tire by the orders of Pat. Well, get this, you all. Joshua tells me that.
He said it was a dagger.
He said it was a what?
Remember he said it was a dagger.
My son said, remember he said it was a dagger. Okay. Then he calls me several weeks later, like not even long after that, and says, Auntie Lily, I'm in the hospital. I said, what's going on? He said, I was gang raped by 5 men. I think Pat sent them at me. They raped me. They busted him open so bad. I guess he had to be sewn up in the back and everything. He called my phone and said that. His mother was petrified and said they were going to get him out of Atlanta and move him away because they didn't want no parts of this, you know. Chrissy found out they lied when she did talk to Danielle. My son said Chrissy found out they lied when they did talk to Danielle. Chrissy knew. Chrissy knew that they put that knife in the tire. Uh-huh.
She had talked to Danielle on the phone and she was leaving after that conversation.
Oh, so that's why Nick beat her like that in the living room.
Right.
They must have said, well, Chrissy knows now. She knows that we set her up. So you're going to have to see. He knew that if Chrissy left her place that day, he wasn't going to see her no more. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
That's why Danielle came. She really came for Chrissy.
Danielle really came for Chrissy.
At that point, she came to support Chrissy.
No, but if Danielle was so much of Chrissy's friend, she would have told the truth about Nick. But she was too busy on Nick's you know what. No, we will not do that. Danielle, yeah, see, she was supposed to be Bobby Christina's friend. She knew that Nick beat her like that. She knew, and she knew they plotted all that stuff, but she never told the authorities that. Isn't that something? Wow. But anyway, meanwhile, while this is all going on, now let's skip up to Ray J and Stacey Francis, because this is after Whitney's death. This is after Whitney's death. Pat's in the media lying, saying she's Whitney's manager now. She's trying to snatch everything now. She's trying to get all everybody's attention to her. So Ray J is doing his part too. And I strongly believe he forced Stacey Francis to do that to Whitney. I really do. I believe that he forced Stacey Francis to do that to Whitney. And Stacey Francis, you seem like you could really be a beautiful sister, a wonderful person if you would get yourself away from people like Ray J. But I believe, sweetheart, that he had you do that. He made you walk up to Whitney and squeeze her breast like that. Yes. I think that he did that and made you tell that lie on my sister and say that you and her was arguing over Ray J. You knew that you and Whitney was not arguing over Ray J. Ray J had nothing to do with that. You walked up on my sister, squeezed her breast, and she cursed you out. That's what you all were arguing about. That is exactly what you all were arguing about. And you all was, after you did that, you was trying to paint the picture and trying to portray Whitney's behavior as someone that was like inappropriate or, evil or something. But, Whitney is a very nice person and she would never curse people out like that. She don't just cuss somebody out about a man. That's not Whitney. Bobby Brown was her husband, honey. She loved Bobby Brown. Do you know how many women that was around my brother that she never cussed out? So why would she want to cuss you out about Ray J? Okay? Ray J made you do that. I believe he did. He put you up to doing that. And you should have never done that. My sister would never be that preposterous and act that way in public. She would never do that. She wasn't that kind of person. And you all concocted up that story and said that she was wild that night. She was getting high and Whitney was just having a good time. And you all concocted that bull crap story about her being wild and crazy. See, you all did that because she was gone now. She was gone. And y'all wanted to say this was the Whitney Houston you all wanted people to remember because they were saying it was drugs. No, but there was no drugs, not enough to kill my sister and her sister. In fact, she didn't even have none. No. No. Very vulgar idea, Stacey. Very. But you need to get on your knees and pray and ask God to forgive you for that. I do. I forgive you, sister. I forgave you already. But you got to find peace with God because I know why you all did that. I know why. You all wanted to paint a picture to the world that y'all wanted people to remember Whitney like that. And that's wrong. That was vicious. That was crazy. And so I guess that's why Nick is trying to commit suicide now. Is it? I don't know. Is he worried about the truth coming out about him? I don't know. I've forgiven everybody. Everybody has to find peace with God. They do. They really do. They really do. Now, I will say this. Nick was a psychopath. He was. Nick had issues. He had some serious issues. There was a lot wrong with that brother, as young as he was. But he's gone now. He's gone. He is gone. But all of you all stuck together in this. And I know that Pat and Gary headed this thing. They were the main culprits. And then they recruited everybody and got everybody in, and I think that they promised you all monies. I really do. Speaking on that, I'm sure that Brandy Burnside was offered something. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Yeah, because, what you all did was, even though I forgave you all, but Ray J, you are, like I said, Nick was a psychopath. But Ray J, for you to have contrived such a story like that about my sister, that is wicked. That was like a vicious move that you made. That was very wicked of you to do that, to create that story like that and say this was about me and Whitney was jealous. That was evil. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have done that. Because then you brought Stacy in it and you forced her to do that and perform those acts on another female, another woman.
Get 3.9%.
See, so God does not like that, Ray J. I forgave you, but you better make peace with God. You better make peace with God, baby, because that is so ugly. That is very ugly for you to do that and try to make somebody look bad. Okay? You don't do that to somebody. Wow. Like I said, overall, Pat and Gary, you all are the two main people that are responsible, because you all are the ones that got everybody together. Yes, I said that. And both of you all had it out for Whitney for a very long time, Pat and Gary. And a lot of people are asking, why, Gary? Why would you let your wife do this? Why? Is it because you are so jealous of Whitney? Because, Brother Gary, I loved you. I've always loved you and respected you. You were one of my favorite brothers. I looked at you just like I look at Bobby, like I look at my own brother, Bobby and Tommy, Gary. You know that. Your wife doesn't think like that. Pat doesn't know us. She didn't. She was jealous of me. You know she was when you introduced me to her. She never felt good about me when you told her I was beautiful. Look, here's my sister Lily. I actually felt bad for her because I don't condone men doing that. I don't think it's necessary to say it more than once. It's okay if you say it once when you're introducing somebody, but to keep hounding it and say, look, my sister, isn't she pretty? I told you so. I knew that was bothering Pat, but she didn't know me. I'm not even that type of person. You understand me? But at the same time, she didn't know that I looked at you like my brother, like Bobby and Tommy. But Gary, people are asking questions. Why? And everybody in the Houston family has told me, you don't know Gary. Gary's been jealous of Whitney for many, 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 many years. Yes. Why? Nippy did everything for you all. Look at the house that you all live in. Y'all lived better than Whitney all your life. Just about. Beautiful home, everything. My God. And a lot of people, I just read some letters that people sent me and said, my God, they live better than Whitney. I seen her at their house, Pat and Gary. How could they follow Whitney and Bobby to Atlanta? They were newlyweds trying to be by themselves. And you and Pat followed Whitney here to Atlanta from New Jersey. Who does that? Who does that? See, that shows me that you all been plotting on Whitney. Yeah, all the times you all followed me to the Chrissy's nurses, the doctor's appointments and stuff like that. You all were plotting on Whitney a long time ago, but I didn't see it back then. I didn't look at it like I'm looking now. I'm thinking like stalking. That's stalking. When the things that you all woke up every day with Whitney on your mind. That's stalking, brother, sister. That's stalking. See, because I'm looking back at everything that you all did, and that's crazy. And you know something? With all due respect to everybody that's listening to this, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, he said, jealousy and envy can lead to murder. You have to be careful, people, who you have up around you, whether they're your family or not. Jesus had people around him at his table that he was breaking bread with and eating and with and talking to every day that was plotting on him. So if that can happen to Jesus, who are we? You have to be careful. See, there's signs in the Bible to show us the things that Jesus was going through. They told us what they would call Jesus. They're going to call him a hater of Jews, hater of this, hater of that. They called him every name in the book, but he was a...
She preaching now. Leola taking them to church. But tell me that this adds up to what they said it added up to. Man, this is a murder, man. And they need to release that tape like they released Cassie's. Show everybody running in and out of Whitney room. I know they killed that woman. I'm going to get back to this tomorrow, man. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston, man. Shout out to my boy Kendrick.
Put it up.
West Coast, what up?
Palm tree the trees and the palms of dealers and fiends. Late night roam the streets. Weed is weaker, but it's cheaper. Not many chicks frontin' like divas. Out west, every chick's a model like Eva, and you know I'm far from believing her. So I'm G'ing her like she G'ing me. Banging in LA is a different thing. At the end, you either dead on the bang, getting out, doing better things. On Sunset, where they hang. Hollywood, where they hustle for change. Times Square here, it's the same. No matter where you go, you'll find a lane. On the west, they kick it with Kane. On the east, trees the social thing. East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap, East Coast. When I'm on the west and I'm doing my thing, don't offer me coke or your nose I bang. Friends don't offer other deadly things. Thanks for the hospitality, we'll still hang. I won't judge you, leave me as I came. On the road to success, top of the game. Eat all all the finer things in the food chain. Teach my kids to do the same. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap East Coast, gotta love life and offer wonderful things. Being to travel is a privileged thing. Came back to the East, air wasn't fresh. Streets filled with trash, various people in the eye. It's easy to tell who's upper middle class. Police and racism, same as crash. Back to where they not social, where they less vocal. When they don't know you, be careful, show you around the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap East Coast, whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Pop your bottles and toss the cork. If you rap West Coast, both coasts are known to give you fame. Got paparazzi playing cameras your way. Got you bobbing and weaving like Cassius Clay. Most thugs turn Muslim in older days. Change their name to Allah they pray. Probably till they decay. This go out to the east and west. For Big and Pac, y'all let's connect. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap West Coast, whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. You can't get the West without the ES. So it's manifested that we connect. You know what it is. Choke, no joke. Learn from mistakes, baby. You know what it is. Greg on the track. Rest in peace, baby. Either war, we here now. You know what it is. Choke, no joke. You already know. Y'all know I love that cooch. You know what this is. I love that cooch. Yeah. It's the A thing. Clean cooch. Let's go. Yo, what's up? My nuts when I wake up. Got morning wood and I just bust one. In mahogany, I'm Ron Isley. Between the sheets, she want to ski. And just shout with me with what I thought was pee. She rolled the D and her water broke B. Not pregnant, but baptized me. I'm down for more love, but change the sheet. She said, please, I want more. Next thing I know, mattress dripping the floor from her juices. Oral had me stoned, had a Corinne, and Medusa in one. And when I look in her eyes, between her thighs, I tell you no lie, ain't shit won't buy. I rob and take it, for me to taste it. Red Lobster, pussy, biscuit, freshly baked. Eat that coochie all night. She sprayed my face like Shook Sprite. I love her. I eat her coochie all night. She sprayed my face like Shook Sprite. I love her. Up my nuts when I wake up. Got morning wood and I just bust one. In mahogany, I'm Ron Isley. Between the sheets, she want to ski. And just shout with me with what I thought was pee. She rolled the D and her water broke B. Not pregnant, but baptized me. I'm down for more love, but change the sheet. She said, please, I want more. Next thing I know, mattress dripping the floor from her juices. Oral had me stoned, had a Corinne, and Medusa in one. And when I look in her eyes, between her thighs, I tell you no lie, ain't shit won't buy. I rob and take it, for me to taste it. Red Lobster, pussy, biscuit, freshly baked. Eat that coochie all night. She sprayed my face like Shook Sprite. I love her. Choke, no joke. Jack Brown. Yeah, now. Choke, no joke. Jack Brown. Yeah, this what ATL in New York sound like. Let's go. Y'all hating ass niggas, I see y'all. Show get busy, that's why I got the crown. Hate in the air, you clowns, I see the envy that you breed, jealousy. What you need is your own damn hustle. Stop worrying about mine. Nigga, I'm poppin' cause I put in time. Came out modeling, camera in hand. Still get busy with the mic in hand. Streets pulled out, niggas got sprayed. Niggas turn on you when they see you get paid. The intimidation in your face. Where's the love? What's taking place? You want my gold and my ducats, cause my money overflowing out of buckets. Shot him in public, made people holler. Scar on his face for the money and the power. I'm the chokester. Chokester. The truth in the industry made me the chokester. 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 The truth in the industry made me the game had me fooled, got in, was young. Thought talent made you rich, damn was dumb. More to make, cake from crumbs. You gotta be sweet, G or native tongue. My heartbeat went into overload when Larry tried to turn me into a mole. Told me show my curly to the CEO. I didn't think it's funny, so his jaw hit the floor and grabbed that chair that broke his back. Then realized that's a hate attack. Harassment comes assault, you in the maze. No way out, like Puff and Mace. Touch me, tease me, I catch a case. Nigga, you ain't straight as your poker face. Father law God, in that game I fold. This sun don't tick, demon time don't hold. I'm the chokester. Chokester. The truth in the industry made me the chokester. 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 The truth in the industry made me the chokester. Chokester. The truth in the industry made me the chokester. Chokester. On the ones and twos, chokester. What y'all want to do? I'm here now. Eat a wall, stand up. Shout out to the bomb squad.
Choke, no joke, I'm out. One.